These 25 farm tech innovations are amazing to watch. Ready to see the fascinating future of farming? Lavender harvester cuts and groups stems into boxes. Hand cutting is still common in province's 46,000 acres of lavender fields. Sheen harvesting is key for large-scale oil production within 24 hours. It takes 250 kg of lavender to make half a kilo of essential oil. No wonder lavender oil is so valuable. Pumpkin harvesters use rotating claws to pick and box pumpkins. Despite this tech, hand picking is still common, especially for ornamental pumpkins. The U.S. produces over 1.5 billion pounds of pumpkins yearly, with Illinois leading. Pumpkins are turned into puree, seeds, and oils. Here's a fun fact. The biggest pumpkin ever grown weighed over 2,700 pounds, heavier than a small car. The sight of bright pumpkins in the field, pure autumn joy. Modern plows use huge steel blades to cut deep, turning soil into smooth waves. Though less common now due to no-till, plowing is still used on 35 million U.S. acres for corn and wheat. The main benefit: it buries weeds and crop residue, prepping the soil for planting. That new symmetrical pattern left behind, incredibly satisfying to watch. The sweet corn harvester uses rubber rollers and plates to grab, twist, and pull ears from stalks without crushing grains. Despite efficiency, most sweet corn for fresh markets is still hand-picked for quality control. However, this machine is essential for producing frozen and canned corn. Iowa and Illinois lead sweet corn production in the U.S., harvesting millions of pounds yearly. Amazingly, 1 acre of sweet corn can yield nearly 20,000 ears, enough to feed a stadium crowd. A specialized hemp harvester uses cutting bars to slice tall stems and lay them in neat rows to dry. While machine harvesting is common for large-scale hemp fiber, hand cutting is preferred for premium CBD hemp flowers. The U.S. hemp market is expanding, with over 465,000 acres planted annually. After harvest, the fiber is used in the textile industry. Here's something wild. Hemp produces 4 times more fiber per acre than trees, making it a more efficient fiber source. Makes it a sustainable and wonderful crop. Fiber hemp harvester uses dual cutters, one for stems, one for tops. Unlike hemp fiber, hemp is harvested earlier for long, strong fibers. Machine harvest is key as hemp grows up to 4.5 m, making hand cutting impossible. Green bean harvesters use rotating belts to pull beans off vines, leaving plants intact. While machine harvest is common for canning, fresh beans are still picked by hand. The U.S., especially Wisconsin, produces over 800 million pounds of green beans yearly. After harvest, beans go straight to processing, often frozen within hours for freshness. Seeing clean, crisp beans fall onto the conveyor is deeply satisfying. A poppy seed harvester uses sharp, rotating blades to remove fruits from stems, then shakes out the tiny seeds. Mechanized harvesting is standard for large farms, though some premium varieties are still hand-picked. Turkey, the world's largest producer, exports millions of pounds annually. Amazingly, 1 acre of poppies can yield 1,500 pounds of seeds, enough for millions of bagels. Watching the seeds fall is a small, satisfying bit of magic. An onion harvester uses sharp blades to cut under bulbs, lifting them onto a conveyor that shakes off soil. In the U.S., Idaho and Washington lead production, harvesting over 125,000 acres of onions yearly. While machines do most large-scale harvesting, hand-picking is still used for premium onions. After harvest, onions are cured and stored for up to 8 months. Fun fact, an acre of onions yields over 50,000 pounds. Enough to fill a semi-truck. Elephant grass. Harvesters use high-speed drums to cut 3.6-meter stems, bundling them for transport. Mechanized harvesting is standard due to the plant's rapid growth and height. This grass, popular for biodiesel and livestock feed, yields up to 15 tons per acre yearly. Current harvesters use vibrating arms to shake ripe fruit onto collection trays. Poland, the world's largest currant producer, contributes over 50% of global supply. After picking, fruits are quickly processed into juices, jams, or frozen. An acre of currants can yield about 10,000 pounds of fruit. Parsley harvesters use rotating blades to cut stems, collecting leaves on a conveyor belt. Handle large fields. Manual cutting is still common for premium herbs. The U.S. grows over 25 million pounds of parsley yearly. LED by California and New Jersey. Fresh parsley is market-packed, while some is dried for seasoning or juice. A meter of parsley can yield up to 20,000 bunches. Grass seed harvesters use reel cutters and threshers to remove seeds, leaving neat windrows behind. This method is standard for large farms, especially in Oregon, which produces over 60% of U.S. grass seed. After harvest, seeds are cleaned, dried and packaged for lawns, sports fields, and golf courses. A clover seed harvester uses reels and threshers to separate small seeds from flowers into large containers. While machines dominate large farms, manual harvesting is sometimes used for organic seeds. North Dakota leads U.S. clover seed production, with thousands of acres planted yearly. Clover seeds are vital for cover crops, which enrich soil with nitrogen. Fun fact, half a pound of clover seed can plant over 5,000 square feet. A pumpkin harvester uses rotating blades to cut vines and a conveyor to lift pumpkins to a sorting platform. While hand-picking is still common in fresh produce markets, mechanized harvesting is standard for large-scale production, especially in Florida and California, which produce over 300 million pounds of pumpkin annually. Pumpkin is processed for fresh sale, frozen products, and soups. Here's something impressive. An acre of pumpkins can yield nearly 20,000 pounds, enough to fill a delivery truck. A celery harvester uses pincers to pull knotty roots from the soil while trimming leaf tips. Most large-scale celery farming occurs in Europe, especially France, but it's also grown on thousands of acres elsewhere. After harvest, roots are cleaned and sent to markets, or sliced for frozen veggie mixes. Fun fact: 1 acre of horseradish can yield up to 30,000 pounds, making it a root crop powerhouse. Grape harvesters use shaking arms to gently knock ripe grapes off vines into onboard bins. While premium wine grapes are hand-picked, machines dominate large vineyards, especially in California, producing 80% of U.S. wine grapes. Grapes are quickly crushed to make juice, wine, or raisins. Do you know 1 acre of grapes can produce about 800 gallons of wine, enough to fill over 4,000 bottles. Automated chicken harvesters use gentle, rotating paddles to guide birds onto conveyor belts for transport. While hand catching is still common on smaller farms, machines are widely used in large poultry operations. In Chitrioba, where over 9 billion chickens are processed annually. Harvested chickens are sent for meat processing or packaged whole. Here's a surprising fact: a single harvester can collect up to 150 birds per minute, making it fast and efficient. Coffee harvesters use vibrating arms and rotating paddles to remove ripe cherries from branches, collecting them on conveyor belt. While manual harvesting is still common, preferred for premium beans, mechanized harvesting dominates Brazil's large plantations, producing over 2.5 billion pounds of coffee annually. Cherries are processed, dried, and roasted into the beans we know and love. 1 acre of coffee can produce enough beans for about 10,000 cups of coffee. That's a lot of mornings fueled. Alfalfa. Harvesters use large cutter bars to cut the crop, leaving it in rows to dry. Mechanical harvesting is standard, especially in California, where over 800,000 acres of alfalfa are grown yearly. Once dry, it's baled for cattle feed, primarily for dairy cows. Here's an interesting comparison. An acre of alfalfa can yield up to 5 tons of hay, enough to feed a cow for almost a year.